Another question, Blake. When your vehicle has high miles, what are some of the things to watch for?
Most of the vehicles that have high mileage, typically what we like to see on that as a car that we see on a normal basis is we like to see the services increased a little bit. So if your car has under 100,000 miles on it, most cars we're comfortable with recommending 5,000 mile oil changes on. Once your car has gotten over 100,000 miles, sometimes we'll push that interval maybe down to 4,000 miles. But again, it really depends on the car. And some of the things that we'll have people do is when their car's got some high mileage or we've serviced the car and we noticed that the car was low on oil or low on transmission fluid, we'll advise the customer to, we'll show them how to check their fluid, and then we'll advise them to go fill their car up, run 1 tank of fuel through it, and then check the fluids. And if the fluids are okay, then go ahead and fill the car up again, and then run 2 tanks of fuel through it, and then notice, if you've got any fluids that have gone down. The most common thing that we see high mileage cars do is we see them run out of oil, and it's definitely preventable. It's just something that takes an extra couple moments while you're getting your gas, like they did in the old days. You go out and you get your fuel, and while you're there, you check all your fluids in your car. That hasn't changed, but people are just a lot less likely to do it than they used to.
Okay. Well, when your car has a lot of miles on it, what are some common things? You mentioned the oil. What are some other common things that you tend to see?
Common things that we see, ignition component failures. We start to see breakdowns of timing components, timing belts break, water pumps start to go out, shocks and struts start to leak. The other things that we'll see is fluid, slight fluid drips that gone unchecked will result in catastrophic failure of power steering, of transmission, of the brakes. The other things that we see are door hinges that start to wear out, power window motors that don't work anymore. Nothing usually too major. Most cars now, high mileage car these days is 200 to 250,000 miles. 20 years ago, a high mileage car had 100,000 miles on it. So, cars have definitely gotten better, but there's still mechanical devices that still need a little TLC to keep them on the road, and those are some of the things that you need to kind of watch out for. But just overall being conscious of what you're driving, how your car feels, how it smells, and how it sounds. Those are the things that we like to have people look out for, and so when their car is in being serviced, they're able to give us a good description of, if things have changed or not. It's kind of like, when you go to the doctor and they're, asking you, how are you feeling, or has anything changed in the last 6 months? Well, a preventative maintenance appointment or a 5,000 mile service appointment is really the same thing. We're just looking at the vehicle to make sure that you can really maximize your investment and get the most out of the vehicle that you can get.